Hello, I'm Dorothy Lee, Family Consumer Science Agent, University of Florida, Escambia County Extension Service, and this is Substitute Tuesday. Here at the Extension Office, we get a lot of calls about salt, using salt in cooking, and what is the best salt to use for cooking. So we're going to spend a little bit of time taking a look at all the variety of salts. There are so many different types of salts. In fact, I recently discovered there were over 100 finishing salts that are used in cooking, but focus usually is on those salts that we use in everyday cooking, and that would be just plain table salt, which is sodium chloride. It's a very fine salt, as you can see. The crystals are very small here, and it is used oftentimes for meats. It's used in cooking fruits and cooking vegetables. And oftentimes when we're cooking, we add it at the end of our cooking process and sometimes at the beginning. We'll talk a little bit more about when to add salt to your cooking process in a few minutes. Another type of salt that is very popular is the sea salt. And sea salt is from the sea instead of mined like our table salt is. And as you can see, it's quite large crystals. Now, there is a difference in recipes in substituting the sea salt for the regular, what we call cooking salt, which is just plain iodized salt. Usually we add half of a teaspoon more in cooking if we're using some type of sea salt, because the crystals are a lot larger and therefore we need a larger quantity there. And then there's a pickling salt. If you are a canner and maybe you're making pickles or you're adding salt to some other type of canning, there is a salt that you can buy for pickling those types of vegetables. Usually vegetables are pickled. I'm thinking about cauliflower maybe and some peppers and so forth. So there is a pickling salt also. And then there's those salts that we call our finishing salts, like Himalayan salt. There is a pink, there's a purple, there's a black, there's a large variety of different types of salt. But usually in most recipes, we're going to go back to that standard cooking salt, which is just sodium chloride. Now, substituting salts in recipes can be very easy. And substituting, instead of using a salt in your recipe, use an herb or a spice, which adds some variety and a lot of extra flavor to what you're cooking. So stay tuned for next week when we will talk a little bit about the herbs and spices to add to our cooking. This has been brought to you by Escambia County Extension Service.